2. We've done a whole load of these. I'm your host, Dominic Parry. With today is
Harry Gibbons.
Not Greg Toby.
Not Greg Toby, no. This is our seemingly biannual. We've binged a TV series without Greg.
Yeah. Every so often we'll think about it, but
Yeah, there's too many. That's the problem with TV. There's too much of it that you can't You can dedicate your time, but then we wouldn't be able to do films as well.
We could have done The Boys, but
and Umbrella Academy.
The time's gone now, so
could do The Mandalorian at the end of its run.
Could do.
Have you seen?
I have not seen.
You need to watch Mandalorian.
No.
I'm give you my Disney Plus to watch.
I'm waiting till it's more on there.
The whole series is first on there, so
I know the first season's on there, but second season, I'm just I'll wait.
Exactly, it's looking good, so that could be a good one to talk about. But then we probably piss off the
Star Wars
7.3 billion fans of Star Wars that probably live around the world, because we're not educated enough in the lore of the
one thing. It's just
the Empire. Yeah, exactly. But Amazon's
The Truth Seekers.
Perfect. The show that was sadly marketed as that thing that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are doing again.
That's so bad.
I'm fed up of that.
I knew they were doing that, and it was obvious. I think it's Stolen Picture. I think.
Yes.
Their company. It's clear they're not. It's not Amazon who's done this. It's them.
It's getting to a point where it's like Slaughterhouse Rules. That was an awful marketing procedure because the film was advertised as another thing that I love. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I'm not even trying to they do some of my favourite films. But when something like Slaughterhouse Rules was marketed as a Pegg and Frost film,
the trailers will show it.
And it turns out to be a weird young adult rip-off of a Harry Potter sort of houses in school, British school story.
And they're barely there.
It doesn't add up, does it, at all?
It's like Human Fury.
Yeah.
Words, right?
Words.
Have you seen that?
Yes, I've seen Human Fury.
Simon Pegg has a cameo in that. There's no need for it.
It's a Nick Frost film. He's the main, the title character, and there's a cameo. And see, that would be fine because they didn't really advertise it as much. It's
But if this one, they kind of advertised it, and then all the reviews said it was a glorified cameo, and it was what am I getting myself into?
Yeah, we're talking about a load of the bad stuff first because I just feel Amazon has a very strange marketing technique.
See, this is strange. Amazon. I saw the other day a list from I think it's Screenrant or something. It was 10 things that don't make sense at The Boys season 2.
Right.
And it said the release schedule. It's
what, once a week?
Yeah. You're just being
broadcast television.
You're just being a bit bitchy about that.
Even Netflix is trying it now.
Truth Seekers is a half an hour-ish thing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work.
It's 35 to 40 minutes per episode, or something like that. Anywhere between those. It's under, isn't it? Yeah, I remember seeing.
I'm not sure what the longest one is. I think it's one of the first ones though.
Easily bingeable. It was definitely made for that sort of. I don't think I could. My dedication to watching all of it over, what would it be, 8 weeks?
Oh, no.
I don't know if The
Boys has substance, story and stuff. This had it, but it's a comedy.
That was my problem. Talking about The Mandalorian again, that was my problem with season 1 of The Mandalorian. Loved the content, almost like The Boys. I loved how rich the content was. But in the first couple of episodes where they had to establish something, it nearly lost me.
I watched, I think, up to episode 5, something like that.
Yeah.
And there was just not much happening. It was
because the first couple of episodes of Mandalorian were just deserts, weren't they?
Yeah, it was just a bit now he's doing another thing.
And you need to be I remember, I still have the first story of when I first went off and binged a series myself was Stranger Things 1.
Yeah. I
just bought Netflix on my own. I was sitting in my living room. It was I don't know what year it was. And 1971. And I'm sitting in my room with the television, and I saw the block of episodes for Stranger Things, and it was at a time where you're not used to looking at all of the episodes and going, yeah, I can do that.
No, yes, you used to kind of. You're used to looking and going
yeah.
It's there. We'll wait until next week.
And I put the first episode on, and the hook of a Stranger Things from episode 1. it literally, I think I did it in 2 days or 1 day. Like the rest of the series.
Yeah.
It was. That's what you need, and I feel like too many times nowadays, companies just assume we'll be able to like
binge it.
They've got our attention span. Like you don't necessarily, you can't just sell an IP like that.
Like this is not Pegg and Frost.
No.
Like that's the one thing I'd have to say for a review. It's not Cornetto. It's not anything like
and
that.
And it didn't have to be,
because if you look at any of the comedies they've done since like that they've been in charge of, or at least had like part in them, they're not like the Cornetto.
No.
Because that's not that. That's one part of comedy.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this has some really, it has some dumb British jokes in it.
Yeah.
You know, it has some decent emotional moments in it. But
There's
it's
some
not
very, very funny moments as well.
Yeah.
Like, which really surprised me. They're like, it's the chemistry. Well, not even as Pegg and Frost, but like watching something like Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. It's those two against other people as well.
That's the thing. It's the fact that it's not just those two.
Yes.
Like, if it was, it would be a bit like,
And I thought we're only arguing these points because that's how it was presented to us.
I honestly did think, I was like, oh no, because he was in the trailer and it was always the same kind of, it was the same kind of shot.
That's what I thought. I thought it was literally one scene in like one episode.
Oh, is it going to be like he turns up at the start and then turns up towards the end or something?
Yeah, it's like a cheap costume.
Yeah.
And he's literally like, you know,
he's there for like 25 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Just turns up, does the scene and wanders off.
Honestly, it could have been like one studio day of just shooting him in that office.
Oh, probably.
We have the office for 48 hours.
Just lock him in there.
Literally. So
he does it.
The El Positivo though, there was a lot.
There is a lot.
You had to find it. You had to stick with the whole series, I think.
Yeah, like I was going to stick for it. I was going to watch it the whole thing anyway, but there wasn't a point that I was like, I don't really want to watch this anymore.
Yeah, same. That's a good way to look at it.
Bring it back to The Boys. There was an episode in the last season, I think about halfway through, and not much happened. And then the next episode was just them reacting to the not much that happened.
It was how many episodes of The Boys were there?
8.
8. I want to say it was around episode 6, wasn't it, or 5?
It was 4 and 5, I think.
Because one of my friends.
3, actually, I think it was 3 and 4 maybe.
Wow, 3 and 4.
But it was just horrific, like.
Because one of my mates is a big fan of The Boys back home.
Yeah.
And he'd watched the episode before me, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't like the episode." And no one had ever said that about The Boys. The Boys was like consistently good.
The thing is, if you look on IMDb, that episode was highly rated, so you can't really trust.
Critics and an audience is like, it's the chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah. But this
it
has some great comedy.
Very good.
I don't really want to spoil this.
Yeah, nor do I. It's so early.
Yeah.
There's some great name-based jokes.
There's some great name-based. I was going to say that to you when I was talking about it, and I was like, oh, that's a kind of spoiler.
Yeah, see, it's like...
It'd ruin the joke.
And I'm so glad I didn't... When you first saw that... We're going to really, like, skirt around it. But when you first saw the other name, because it was written down first...
Yeah.
I didn't instantly think of the joke.
No, because it didn't...
And that's what made it so much more funny, wasn't it?
It was the fact that it was one of those classic British things of, here's thing A, here's thing B.
Yeah.
Thing A is weird, and you expect thing B to be normal, and it's like, no, it's
thing
still
B
weird.
is thing A flipped upside down.
Yeah, it's
like,
just the same thing. Don't act like you're going to get something better out of this.
It's so clever. It's just the art of just like, what is it? There's like, you know, the false promise and then the...
Yeah, it is.
Doubling up on the strangeness, I guess. But yeah, there's great chemistry between the cast. Kind of.
Astrid, once Astrid's there, it's a lot better.
Yeah. Definitely. That was a thing, not to spoil it, but I thought Astrid's arc would be the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a bit too quickly
And then on like episode 3 and 4, it disappeared.
It was like, you should have kept it going.
Yeah, literally. And then I thought, oh, so it's not her arc.
Like, it should have been like, oh, it didn't work properly or something like that.
Yeah.
To not spoil it, but it just...
You're going to go to CosCon?
No.
The Coventry Collectors
Cosplay
Convention.
I don't want to get mind controlled.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
But, yeah, once Julia Barrett showed up as well,
yes,
it was like... He should have been here from the start.
Yeah, he should have been. Yeah, definitely.
Like,
was that episode like 4 or something?
Yeah, I think it was. It was that episode.
When we saw the flashback.
Because he was referenced, but it was like, oh.
I saw him on the back of the book, and I was like, "That's him from Mighty Boosh."
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Yeah," and I didn't expect.
Why did they do it? Like,
It would have been so good if like there was something like there's so many moments here, but it really needed us to be so committed to watching the whole thing. Like it's so good at locking everything back
yeah.
and coming back and forth.
I was really worried that because I looked at a review
Yeah.
and I got spoiled that the thing that happens to Astrid,
Oh, okay.
but it was semi-spoiled. But like, I was like, yeah, it's just
That's kind of annoying. That
yeah. But thing is, I kind of saw it coming once the episode started and it started happening. I was like, yeah.
even saying the thing that happened to Astrid on a podcast though doesn't mean anything because this is so many things happen to all of the characters.
All right, towards the end, then
yeah,
thing
exactly.
But I was like, yeah, like if she'd had it, like if the thing they'd done to help her hadn't gone well,
yeah,
and then obviously she's kind of a bit screwed.
Yeah,
like throughout the season, just like little bits, that would have been better, I think.
You made a really good comment the other night when I was binging it and you'd seen it. You made a really good comment about the tone.
Yeah,
and it needs to pick one.
It was comedy, like sadness.
Yeah,
comedy.
I feel like it can pick a hybrid if it goes for the horror comedy. Sure,
but people said I remember seeing a load of reviews, and it was like, "This is scary." I was like,
Where?
They were like good. They were like there was some good like, oh, Fire Lady's a bit creepy.
Yeah, it was the effects were really good. I feel like all the budget went on the effects.
Yeah,
I respect that. Like that's what you need to do.
But it was a bit like, what's the scary bit?
There's no scare.
Not that, I don't even really like horror, but I was a bit like, eh.
I don't. Yeah, see, I'm like as a big horror fan as well, and like not a single bit scared me. It intrigued me, with the whole like. I wish it was sort of a subplot, but like the dog in the first.
Yeah, that annoyed me. The fact that they did that
as the main.
They did the the fact that they had the ending episode.
Right.
With the woman, and then I was like, what?
Yeah,
because it went nowhere.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird.
Oh, the ending of the episode. Now I remember. That's a really big plot hole that they didn't go back to.
Yeah, it's like you think it's going to come back, but it doesn't.
It makes sense because of the whole, the mechanism of how. How spirits work in this. It's a good visual explanation, but then again, it's like Chekhov's gun. That was too wacky to be left alone.
Yeah, there should have been more.
It's the cliffhanger episode 1. Or 2?
I think it's 1.
I can't remember if they go back and... Yeah, it's 1, I'm sure.
I feel like it is.
I feel like the episode's, cut off. It felt like there was more, 4 episodes of an hour.
Yeah.
There was, not cliffhangers to half of them. They just sort of end and then pick up.
And then next episode, just yeah.
I've been watching, The Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor. And, you can tell Netflix, every end of an episode, they're throw a cliffhanger... pressed next episode.
Hollyoaks, just
literally. I was half the time I didn't even know the episode had really ended, and the thing in the bottom corner came up, and it went to the next episode. I was like, oh, okay.
That's good and also bad.
It's seamless, but also, again, it's the whole.
Yeah, it's like
if we weren't willing to stay for the whole thing, we were trying to see. If
the reason I tune in next week is because you've grabbed me at the end, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah,
this one I kept on watching because I enjoyed it. And I was like, it's real. It's a chill British comedy. And
we're quite forgiving because this is the sort of content we like to see.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
fearful for the masses.
I'm not going to hate on it because I like it.
So. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, if I sound a bit cynical with it, I do really like it. Even if it was kind of bad, I'd still probably like it because I really like Pegg and Frost. And it could have
been horrific.
Oh, definitely.
But it wasn't. No. So yeah.
It had heart. It had
heart. There was some emotional scenes that were that hits, man.
Yeah.
It's deep. Because it's well written, it's well acted.
Yeah.
I think you probably know the scene I'm on about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was brutal. A few of them work really well.
I can't spoil something. Can we do a spoiler warning? If they've got through a lot of the episodes.
Spoiler warning now.
Massive spoiler warning.
Piss off if you know.
Because there's one rewrite that I feel would have made it so much more punchy.
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so massive spoiler warning. Leave now if you haven't seen it. Okay.
We will sue you if you don't.
So when Nick Frost is talking to his wife,
Yeah.
she tells him that, what's his name?
Toynbee.
Toynbee killed her.
Yeah.
Don't do that. They should have had it, because it was the start of the next episode where everybody shows it.
Yeah.
So if it's ended with her saying, like, I don't know where I am, or I don't know what happened, and like come find me or something, and give him that like
She
sad
needs to
hope.
be in season 2.
Exactly. So that sad hope was there. Imagine how much more brutal it would have been. Start of the next episode, he's killed her, and you're like, shit, and she doesn't know. She literally just in the middle of a sentence was like, he killed me for this. I really wanted that punchy.
It was so like.
Because did you feel anything?
No.
That's when it shows. There's the shot of her then.
Because Nick Frost is reacting.
That scene, I was like, wow, emotion when they were together. That scene where he literally slices her throat, I felt nothing because I didn't feel any connection to the character. If she told me she didn't know where she was or she's lost, and then we see her get her throat slit,
me and then just
fuck, that hurt. That would be so much worse.
Astrid is one of those where it's like she needs to be more involved.
Yeah, her story's really good. I love a character at a time. I love all of that. I want to see her see the thing that needs to happen in the second series now is something needs to happen to them.
Yeah. Not them going to places.
They're chasing it in this. And that's a good way to introduce it.
It is, but like we have biggest spoiler one day, we have Pegg. And we have who is it?
Something McDonald's. Oh,
no.
It's a K something.
Yeah.
Not J.
But yeah. We have them two as like gods, we assume.
Yeah, which is sick.
That was such a smart idea because it actually works.
That was the biggest twist.
You have the old tech, versus new tech, and it's like it's a game for them.
Yeah,
it's clear. Like,
and the very interesting line was like, "You're sweet, you're precious, Astrid." Yeah. That was a bit like, ooh.
So it's like a chessboard, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see because I thought that was such a. Is it Caitlin McDonald or something like that?
Something like that. I don't know.
She's like been from Nanny McPhee, if you know.
She's been quite a few things.
When she was just like a nutcase, I was like, "There's something more here."
There is definitely something.
But I thought it was a cameo because it's Amazon. I thought they were like, tax. What is it? A tax break by getting a really expensive actor for like a little role. I was thinking that's so good to have someone that you're like, oh shit. But obviously, that's so good.
It's good that she's a big character as well because she was a bit like,
yeah. They're playing a game against each other as well.
They are. It's definitely like a game of chess.
Oh, it's so fun. Have you ever watched The Good Place?
I've not.
There's a sort of similar twist in that, but it wasn't similar enough where I'm like, oh. It was like, yes, I'm so glad they're doing this.
Yeah.
Like they needed to be. I'm not saying it lacked anything, but. For that season 2, I wanted stakes.
And that has now.
And if these two are playing them around, that's what we mean. That's the thing that needs to happen to them.
What's her name? Helen, is it?
His wife?
The sister.
The sister,
the
Helen,
sister and Richard.
Tells Bells. Tells? Something like that.
Tells. The sister and the dad, they just need to be more involved in the main plot because it was just like...
I really did like the sister's plot line.
It was just a bit like...
It felt like it was filler for like other episodes, but also it was a very important. You don't really get agoraphobic or anxious characters in things like this.
But the fact that she managed to get taxi and stuff,
it's
a bit like,
that's true as well. When she just rocks up at the dance.
It was like,
how's she done that? Then? Yeah, she's like.
There was some great lines. When he reveals that it's like Helen or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's his wife's dad. It's like
that hit. I was like, that's so well written, man. I wish I could like get to a moment like that because I did have suspicions. I was like,
and the thing is,
such like an ass to him.
When he gets told all those things, like, oh, he wishes it was you instead of her.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. It's like, well, yeah, of course he would.
Yeah, it makes so much more sense.
What father would not think that?
When he's looking at the photo of her,
it's like.
It's so good. My favourite, because obviously we're in the big spoiler territory now. Talking about Queen and Slim again the other week. This is my newest. I like to rank like my funniest moment in a piece of media.
Yeah.
So like a couple of weeks ago it was the Queen and Slim. Move your fat ass! Like getting into the car. Now, my last one has got to be well, it's really nice to finally meet you,
Oh,
Lionel Richie. Just
hello.
hands to him at the back of the car. Hello. So good. Hello.
It's
So deadpan.
It's just
Oh, it's
like, because
perfect
obviously
writing.
he's heard it before. It's like,
And he's just like, hello. It's so good. Just the deft hello was just.
he's in a
I
like,
literally howled.
he's in a state of kind of like, Gus is Gus and Gus
Yeah, Gus is
Richards or
Gus
Roberts.
Roberts.
And he's in a state of kind of like, aha, I'm better than you now.
Yeah, he thought
and
he
it's
knows
like,
again.
he's clearly being a bit of a dick.
Yeah, you can't
And,
just
like,
throw him back into old Leicestershire.
No, but like that
Lionel
scene,
Richie.
he wouldn't deserve like anything more.
Honestly, the names are so clever. That was such a good little like payoff as well. I do love the amount of looks he got when. What's even funny though is the amount of no looks he got sometimes when he said his name was Elton John. People would just be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
like they didn't even
Oh,
think."
was it Richard who, or the dad who had a joke about like, essentially, like the fact that the guy's black and his name's Elton John.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's so clever, man.
it just works.
I think the home guard scenes were very good as well.
Yeah.
That was like, and I really loved. There was so many creative, like I wouldn't even call it horror, almost sci-fi, more like a bit of. I'm trying to think of like more like 1800s literature sort of creation. Yeah, like having someone be transported into
a device,
or the dog coming back to life. It was like some Jekyll and Hyde, Robert Louis Stevenson type. Yeah, and I love that. That's the sort of that is the horror that I really get into, and you can tell the influences from Pegg and Frost wanting to do stuff like that. Because Slaughterhouse Rules, for all the shit we could give it, there was moments of that as well. It's like the sort of old Hammer horror sort of, and yeah. So yeah, what do you think? I feel like it's a pretty good.
I feel like that's a good enough time. Yeah.
Season two.
Season 2.
Has it been commissioned already? Or?
I don't know, but I kind of get the feeling that it might. If it hasn't been, it's on Pegg and Frost.
Great time to release it.
Oh yeah.
Just as soon as we're going into lockdown again.
It's a show that I'd suggest watching. Either binging or watching a few episodes and then taking a break and then watching.
Tell us what you think in the comments or anything.
Yeah. Subscribe, and we'll see you next week or this week. Something.
Anytime. Bye.
Yeah.